Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the second series of tonight. This will be FaZe versus Fnatic, again in the ESL Pro League. I'm Hugo, and joining me once again is going to be Harry. We've got an interesting matchup. We're done with North versus Hellraisers. That went for a 1-1 split. Now we're looking more so for the potential 2-0.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very much looking forward to this game. I think there's a lot that we can speak about once again. I mean, that's something I would say about both the games that we have tonight is there's a lot going on, across these maps. I think the maps themselves are very interesting. Train and Overpass can be the maps for tonight. And yeah, I mean, just coming into it, I think both these lineups have been performing, very well as of late. But after Fnatic's performance yesterday on Train, I'm a little bit, kind of on the fence as to whether or not they can bring a lot to the table here. Yeah,
so just to fill people in who weren't watching yesterday, Fnatic played one map against G2 on Train. Now, obviously, we're looking at G2, who were at the bottom of the board now, 13th out of 14th after that win. Not looking very consistent, not looking great, at least in the Pro League so far, and they 16-5'd Fnatic. Fnatic, frankly, did not play very well. They threw a lot of simple rounds, they threw a lot of clutch situations, and while statistically I think we can both agree Fnatic are doing fine on Train, at least in that regard, watching them play yesterday was quite a painful affair. So going into this one, I can definitely agree, this is going to be really scary.
Yeah, and then you've got to bear in mind, it's Rain on Train. Not only is his name physically in the map, well, kind of. But yeah, no, it is, right? Yeah. Not only is his name physically in the map, but he's a god on it. I mean, he's done some amazing things on this map. Like I can't remember what it was. I think he got something like 36, 39 frags across a tiny amount of rounds, and almost broke the record for like the amount of rounds kind of in X amount. Yeah. And he's phenomenal on it. Just a spectacle to watch. I think that's gonna be very interesting. A lot of this, though, just depending on, our FaZe on form. I mean, they recently, they've had the addition of Nico, which has brought a lot to the roster. They did phenomenally well at IEM. But, yeah, I mean, I just think it's going to be interesting across the board, seeing how these two teams can Fnatic figure out what the hell went wrong yesterday. That's really the thing I think we need to look at.
Let's hope. I mean, this is just really such an upside-down series. Almost as upside-down as your cue cards. Now you just fixed it. Great, you screwed me over. But, yeah, either way, I think...
I was trying to do it slyly.
Yeah, shut up. Either way, I mean, I'd like to just call a 2-0 for FaZe, but Fnatic being Fnatic, the roster we all know and most of us at least love, they have the potential of always taking away maps, right? Train, we've said it, they're statistically good at it. If they don't perform like they did yesterday, I think if anything, they were maybe, as Fnatic always do, getting a bit overconfident, getting a bit overzealous, and that ends up in their demise a lot of the time, because if we see Fnatic get too big for their boots, they often throw away rounds where they really shouldn't have. We saw 2 attempted knife kills in a 2-on-1 clutch against Kenny yesterday that they lost. Yeah. So things like that are really going to upset Fnatic, but at least coming into this matchup, FaZe currently 6th on the board in the Pro League standings, and Fnatic currently 9th. They're going up against a better team. They know this. They shouldn't be playing, silly or messing around. They should be taking this really, really seriously, because this is an important match. This could really force Fnatic back up into maybe the top 6, at least in standing. So it's going to be important that they try and lock this one down. Easier said than done, but with the inconsistency of Fnatic, you can never know. Yeah,
and I think Overpass is a very interesting one as well. Mostly because we've seen Fnatic play a little bit. They're currently kind of 2-on-1 on it with this current roster this year. Back in 2016, they were very strong on Overpass. They actually went on an 8-round win streak on it at one point. Just back-to-back success. It was when they kind of switched things up in the main core of them whenever they got sent, and we saw that whole kind of roster change take place. That it really started to slow down for them and became a bit of a problematic map, and was one that they just couldn't really find a lot of success on. And since then, whilst they have been picking things up slowly but surely, they don't look to be half as strong on it as they used to be. And I feel like, coming into this is one that is going to be a bit of a struggle for them.
Yeah, but again, it's Fnatic. They can always go down to those aim battles that we know that they love. And maybe they'll take some aim battles over on B, who knows? But if they do, they're going to need some flashbangs, and we've got a clip just for that.
Hey Future Pros, we have a flash for you that should aid in pushing through the monster tunnel on Overpass. This flash should leave your teammates unaffected, while the CTs should be blind as heck. To do this flash, line yourself up over the tip of this bottle. Aim over the wall slightly and to the right, and then throw the flash. That's it. This should make the Rush B Don't Stop strat work way more in your favor.
Good stuff there. Now, at least in performances of these two teams up head-to-head, they've not played many series, again, considering not only that Fnatic have had this recent rebuttal or reformation of their roster change, but also FaZe have made their own recent roster change. I guess the last time we could really look at these guys playing one of these maps was back on Train, where FaZe actually beat Fnatic 16-11 on that map. So looking at that, just straight off the bat, as the second map coming into, is looking good for FaZe. And obviously with the recent acquiry of Nico, they have so much power on that roster that it may even rival Fnatic, you know, in the sense that yes, we have Flusher who can step up, yes, we have Olof, we have Crims, we have everyone who can go crazy on the Swedish side. FaZe, I think we can all agree, are one of the most firepower heavy teams right now.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you know, you have so many players in there that can just wreak havoc. And, you know, when you look over at Fnatic, they're not short of players that can do exactly that either. But the issue that I'm seeing is just after that performance we saw the other day on Train and kind of a gradual decline in performance overall, you know, are they going to step up to the mark? We've already seen FaZe take it in favor of them once, as you said, at IEM 16-11 when they played. And, you know, I just think that coming into Train, of course, that's the second map of the night. So, you know, it's fairly interesting to see how they're going to have to try and deal with this. I think Fnatic could take it, but, you know, there's no doubting the fact that they could, because Train is one that usually they're fairly good on. But like I said, they have been having a bit of a slowdown in terms of how reliable they are on this map. And, you know, I just feel like ultimately FaZe are so, you know, confident in how they are right now. They're kind of going through that honeymoon period as well. They've just got Nico in the roster, and I mean, he's just firepower all over. I think you're up against a team that's in top form versus Fnatic, who've kind of started to fall behind a little bit.
I mean, you even say honeymoon form, and that does come into play for a lot of teams. I don't think Fnatic even had their honeymoon form when they reformed as this roster. Have we seen anything from them? Have we really seen anything from them? Have we seen land wins? Not really. They've not performed as we would expect them to do, as the old Fnatic did. And I mean, they said they got bored of playing with each other. They got bored of winning. I think soon they're going to get bored of losing. They need to step up, and this is a good chance for them to do so. And to be honest, I know what I'm going to be doing with my esports money. When either team wins this, if it is a 2-0, I'm going to head over to the ESL store and I'm going to buy myself a jersey of a team, and you guys can do that too. Head over to shop.eslgaming.com. You can buy yourself a jersey. That'd be lovely, you know? I might buy a Fnatic jersey. I might buy a FaZe jersey. I don't know yet. I'm going to see who wins this matchup. And Harry, will you be buying your jersey?
No. I would, but I would, however, of a different team. I would buy one where my heart, you know, is truly placed.
Where's that?
That'd be Nip.
Oh, he's a fanboy, boys. He's a fanboy. Head over to the A stream. Get away from here. We don't have Nip here on the B stream. We have better teams. You know, teams that actually are high up in the standings like FaZe. But anyway, this game's going to be starting in just a second, guys. So hopefully not too much delay longer. The players are just connecting to the server. And yeah, I mean, looking at, we kind of said most there is to say about recent performances and recent statistics of both these teams. I think it could go either way. I think, you know, Fnatic are not in that honeymoon period, but are starting to build up. We talk about them on a slow burn, similar to the sense of G2. One of those teams that have also had a recent roster change, you know, started off quite shabbily and now are starting to build up and starting to get some recent performances. So G2, for example, when they first formed, they weren't doing very well, and frankly, they're not doing great at the moment, but they've started to build up. I mean, we saw them beat Fnatic yesterday. That was a good upset. We saw them qualify for the SRI League Star Series down as well. Yep. They've started to build up, and hopefully Fnatic are going to start to do that as well, because I really want to see the old Fnatic in play. I want to see this match go 1-1. I want to see some great performances across the board, because I think Fnatic are the team that can do that. I'm not counting them out, and I think we all kind of expect them to come back in the same sense we expect these French super teams to really come back in eventually. It's just going to take a bit of time to work out what they want to do with it.
Yeah, definitely. But you know, I think as we do get ready to head into Overpass, one thing to really pay attention to, as I was saying, is just how Fnatic have kind of slowed down on this map. I mean, when we saw kind of the core head over towards Godsent, it was one that they looked to be very weak on. I mean, Godsent was riddled with problems throughout, but there were a few glimmers of hope, and Overpass definitely wasn't one of them. We saw them lose to teams such as Dignitas and Tricked, which, you know, definitely not at the same caliber. So, you know, there's always that to bear in mind. Of course, now they have reformed, and I do think, you know, we've seen an improvement, right? But the issue is when you look at kind of the Godsent experiment is what I would call it, and when we did see that breakdown of teams is, I mean, they certainly didn't have a honeymoon period. They went straight to divorce. And, you know, now coming back into this, the honeymoon period has definitely kind of lifted them up because we've seen the overall play be better. But, I mean, you know, I don't think it's anything in comparison to what we're seeing with FaZe, who are just using Nico to devastating effectiveness.
Yeah, and they've actually been able to fit him into the roster well. One thing we were scared about as well was, obviously, Nico was a carry of Mouse, and we look at him and we go, oh, he's such a sick player, he's one of the best players in the world. And a lot of people got worried when they knew that he was going to join FaZe. So they were thinking, what if he's overshadowed? What if he's not the star fragger we think he is? Because he's been playing in Mouse, he hasn't had his teammates as well all be top tier performance. Yeah. And then moving into this roster, we were thinking, what if these players like Alu, like Kyo, who can just frag crazy too, will step up above him? But no, Nico's been doing phenomenally well as well. So it's been really good to see FaZe as a team all be performing, and hopefully we'll see that coming into this matchup as well. But here we go, ladies and gentlemen, it is going to be Overpass, map 1 of these two best of 1 series, Fnatic versus FaZe, with Fnatic starting over on that CT side.
Yeah, now already we can see FaZe putting some players down through connector, as well as sending Nico backed up over towards this B site, looking to try and exert some pressure towards short early on. Now, as Olof does peek on out, he's going to be sent back. Doesn't want to be at the mercy of these Glocks. They might try and employ a boost. I mean, currently they have 3 players over towards this B site. You could also see the quick rotate coming in from Flusher as he opts to play the A site passively. What they've done is they've allowed Dennis to put the push on up over towards toilets. He can spot for the peek out through connector. As Rain takes that, though, I imagine that's going to mean that Flusher is no longer going to be in position to rotate. They won't know where that bomb's going just yet. Saying that, Crims is going to go down. Trying to peek on over, Nico takes his head off, and that's the early man advantage taken. They're just going to rush towards B, and already this rotate should be underway. Heaven going to be smoked. It's Olof to find 1, finds 2, looking to try and get a third. Reloads the USP, and how haven't you killed him yet, Arlu? Finally finds that frag, and it is going to be a 2-on-3. Kyo and Arlu, the 2 players to try and clutch this out. JW going to be able to win. It's going to be spotted out for the time being, but there's Flusher, finds 1 through the wall, and then Dennis to dispatch of Kyo. That is going to be Fnatic to find the pistol round on the CT side. Great
start there for the CT side. Obviously, FaZe are a team that love their forces. They love their Deagles, and so for the second round, they will be fully investing into this one. We don't see them saving for the AWP very often, even though you know, they do pick it up so much on Alu, and even have that double AWP, prowess as well. Nico's a player who he can do everything. He can pick up the AWP as a double AWP. We can see Karrigan as well. Previously in Astralis was doing a lot of AWPing, so so much AWPing potential on FaZe. But they're just going to stick with these Deagles, a Tech 9 on Alu, and a P250 on Rain as well, just to spice things up. A nice mixed by Fnatic. Themselves, they're going for a couple of UMPs. So fairly default here, nothing too special on the CT side themselves, and FaZe just looking for these picks with the Deagles. That is what they are so great at. Only going to need that one-shot potential, and just spamming away towards the A side. They're going to start to assert a bit of pressure as Nico, supported by Rain up close, are going to be making their way towards the site. And look at these rotations. Fnatic already know what's happening. Olof has found his way back up towards the stairs. They're going to be in position for this full A take. And while FaZe don't have a lot of utility, if any, they do have the aim of some incredible players.
Yeah, Nico going to be the player to try and break the barrier of Swedes. Flusher over in this corner. Nico's got to try and check this. And actually, is the push coming up from long from Arlu? Could potentially find this. I mean, Olof is going to be there to try and trade things out. We'll be watching the smoke. Flusher takes that first strike, but they've got to worry because Arlu's up close and personal with the smoke, looking to try and make his way on through. Kyo rattling some shots downrange with the Deagle as well. And now as the smoke fades, Arlu's going to be at the full mercy of Olof with that Famous. Down he goes. This push just being torn to shreds. They haven't even dealt with Dennis yet towards Optimus, who peeks on out. Does find Rain. And now it's Karrigan and Kyo. 2v5, some damage done to Olof, but that's about it. And with no utility to flush him out, the aggression going to come in from JW because he just doesn't care, and Classic. It pays off. Down he goes. And that's $1,200 farmed up on the back of that UMP as well.
Yeah, good money will allow them to go for that AWP ASAP. And I like that from Fnatic as well. They don't take the aim battles. They know the FaZe have the Deagle, so peeking out, extra aggressively will allow FaZe to at least get those picks onto the site. And the fact that FaZe sat so, long over towards short and long and didn't really commit to a full push as they were looking for a pick. And Fnatic were just not allowing them to take anything into that round. So really bringing it back down to the last few seconds. And now FaZe, they are going to have to full eco. A nice nade as well put up through middle will do a good, sizable bit of damage onto some of these players. Going to make it far easier for them to be mopped up by the UMPs. And the Glock train, the conga line of death as we call it, is going to be sprayed away by Dennis. 3 for him. Flusher mops up a bit of cash, $600 there. And Alu got to be the last player standing. Flusher, I'm sure he's going to be chasing this one down. He's got bomb control. He knows he's in the near vicinity. I think you will just hear these footsteps, going to be ready for it. Spraying away, teammate comes in for support. Dennis rounds up with a 4K. So Fnatic 3-0, but FaZe are going to be on their bye.
Yeah, this is where FaZe really have to try and kickstart their TC, their
TC style. Yeah, it's a new side being added to Counter-Strike in the next update. Kidding, there are no updates.
And it's just going to be rifles across the board. A little bit of utility for them to play around with. An abundance of smokes, some flashes as well, 4 between them. and the molly on Nico. Over on Fnatic, though, they actually decide just to keep the buy. Going to try and take this one for free. It's a relatively low investment round, and Dennis going to be charging on in with this famous interconnector. 3 players down on B, and Flusher with the UMP to watch his back. Now, the issue is Dennis can very easily be isolated here with no one in a great position to trade, especially seeing as you have Rain trying to contend for control of the connector. Nico will be able to find one, but then with a hop, a skip, and a jump, Crims finds one with the ump. It's going to be a 4-on-4, and Kiyoshima over towards Pi. You're going to get one, but it's quickly traded out by Flusher. Back into a 3-on-3. And he's just going to look to get the hell out of there. Olaf, meanwhile, gone very aggressive, and that's going to allow Crims to rotate on off. As now Rain's going to be hurt on the rotate. Olaf is just going to post himself up here in the corner, wait passively. Should be able to find themselves the man advantage, as now Crims is making his way over towards A. Rain's going to check it, though, and oh, down goes Olaf. That is a 2-on-3 FaZe against all odds. Pick up the man advantage, despite an aggressive play from Olaf. And this B site now looking ripe for the taking.
Control going to be regathered though as Fnatic rotate back on in. The flashes hold Rain back for a mere second as Crims tries to get in position, but Rain doesn't care. A quick tap to the head will remove him from the server, and Flusher is going to be the last man standing, coming back in from the CT spawn. There's Alu close, there's Rain on the site, there's a bomb being planted, and Rain, he's just going to clean it up himself. 3 quick kills, lovely stuff from the man himself. And to be honest, it doesn't really matter for Fnatic at the end of the day, because they got a couple of kills. They obviously had the bonus round in place, so they're still going to be able to buy up coming into this, because they get the $1,400 loss bonus. And straight onto this one, they pull up the double AWP play. Dennis and JW are going to be pulling that one out. And Fnatic, again, a team that can just throw the AWP over to almost anyone here. So they're not going to have an issue with that. They can just play off spawns if need be. And it seems like Flusher's going to be, or at least looking for something, just back towards the toilets. But Fnatic still on this full buy, looking to reset FaZe. With the boost up towards B short, the Molotov goes down to deny a fast entry here from the T side. And JW just chilling, just waiting. FaZe Clan, they've got a hell of a lot of control down towards connector, which is going to be quite worrying for JW, because with no support down towards the connector from the CT side, they could just open that door and burst onto his head, and he's going to have to flick all the way back from his aim on short.
Yeah, now are they going to check this? Are they going to open up the door at all? He blows the door out, but the timing is going to be a little bit off, as they have already crossed. Dennis falling on back to the site along with Flusher, as they both just give up mid for the time being. Don't want to be taking these peeks unnecessarily, especially with very little info now. JW just trying to peek on over for info, just waiting passively now. They've taken the boost away, and instead he's going to be watching long. They pop flash out Crims, who is going to take the peek, and actually Nico is there now falling on back. The rest of his team pushing out towards A. Flush is going to be able to get one, and okay, Chase to give it the second through the smoke. Okay, that's going to be 2 for him. No trade in sight just yet. Kyo's close by, but the bomb has been dropped out in the open. 3 players all within earshot, but the only player who can really do anything immediately is Kiyoshima. And he finds himself alone in toilets, now rejoined by Nico and Alu coming in from long. They've got to be asking themselves, where did it all go wrong? The boost from Dennis is going to get one as he just peeks over the top of the SWAT van. Not going to get punished just yet. The bomb is picked up by Nico, but Flusher peeks out wide. Nico does get one, and oil off Dennis. Quick to return. 3 frags for Flusher, and 2 for Dennis in a steadfast hold of that A site.
And there's the reset. You see it yourselves, they go for the bonus round, they lose out, doesn't matter. That's the thing with the UMPs, right? They can pull up the triple UMP into the first buy round, and even if they lose it, they instantly get the double AWP out and have a flawless round just to completely shut down FaZe. Now we just see a couple of pistols here for the T side, and they've just been pounded, because that has been a very, very nice round done by Fnatic. And now we're just going to see a fast play up towards the A side once again. A bit of control down connector for Rain, but again with only a Glock, not a lot to work with here. No support either for the trade. Really, they're just relying on these couple of Deagles for the side of FaZe to get something done as they work their way up towards the A site. We still had the double AWP set up perfectly. And the boost coming out from Karrigan just to try and spot out anyone over towards short. But Fnatic, they're not biting. They're just sitting on the site and playing it so passive. And I like this as well. There's no need to throw away against pistols, because if you start pushing up towards the toilets, P250 is going to be dangerous in those close ranges. Better to play on the sites, better to play the range game and have that trade potential, as both players will be in position here towards short. We're going to start to see FaZe Clan making some contact.
Yeah, Dennis going to be watching long. Kyo just shoulder peeking the angle, and Dennis is going to give it up for the time being. Switches his attention onto mid. Rain and Karrigan both here. These Deagles hoping to do some damage. Okay, they do. Nico going to find Flusher, but the equalizer coming in from Dennis. But now he's here alone at the mercy of these blocks. Lands a nice fancy flick out on Uali, but quickly dealt with by Kyo on the site. Back in with 3-on-3, but Olaf going to go aggressive, trying to hold things down and buy time for the rotate. Going to get isolated, and this Glock doing plenty of damage. Crips could get taken down as well, and these Glocks, they're raining death. Nico Okay, speaking of raining death, JW does exactly that. There's the order from him. The artillery rains down. Karrigan will fall, but Nico's found himself an AWP and also a sliver of opportunity, and that's one thing you can't give to Nico. Give him an inch and he takes multiple miles as now he pushes on up towards back and be smoking off the stairs, trying to get this bomb down, and it's going to be up on Optimus for the time being. They're going to molly off the plant for toilet, which forces him to try and do it towards Optimus, fakes it out, but now there's very little time left. They're just going to go aggressive, and Nico finds Crims. Now it's a one-on-one. JW versus Nico, and he hears the plant. Oh no! JW, he plays it perfectly, falls away. Nico tries to fake it out. He finds the frag, but Fnatic pick up the round. 5-1. But a very, very good round from FaZe.
I like the attempt from Nico, I really do. That's a situation where you fake the bomb plant with 3 seconds remaining because there's such a good chance that we're going to see the push come in through the smoke, but unfortunately it does not happen. FaZe, they are going to lose out on just around by the skin of their teeth, but again, they do only have 2 Deagles invested into the round, and they get all 5 kills and even save an AWP from it as well, and so that will be padded over to Alu. Good at least here for the T side, but now they're on the bite. Fnatic still double AWP in play, and a fast peek up from Alu. Gonna get caught out. JW's playing up close. A quick kill on the side of Fnatic, and he's not even going to back off here. He's hunting for more. There's refrag attempted, and Nico succeeds. It's going to be the AWP removed. Grabbed back for Nico as he starts to push his way back. Crims is alone over towards short now, but he does have a bit of support regrouped as Olof comes, but Nico just in through the smoke. It doesn't matter to this man. Smokes aren't anything. Takes down Crims. And I like the push up from Olof to at least try and grab some control back for the side of Fnatic, but it's very risky here.
Oh, Nico going to miss that shot. Olof going to pivot round and actually lands the 180. Down goes Rain. Olof now falling back into the B site to try and buy time for the rotate. It's already coming on through. And Olof spots out that player. Down goes Karrigan, and he looks to get all 4. Olof with a very quick return. He was angry as a result of that previous round. And there we go. 4 frags for him as he single-handedly holds down the B site.
That is crazy from Olof. FaZe just shut down right now. They are going to have, again, a few pistols to play with. But right now, this is looking like a new Fnatic. I'm glad we didn't see them crumble after their quite embarrassing loss against G2 yesterday on Train. And coming into Overpass, they are having a huge amount of effect. It's pistols out now here for the T side. A Deagle with armor on Nico, as he did do very well in the previous to get some money after those kills. But other than that, not a lot of hope for FaZe. Although that being said, they did have good effect with the Glocks a couple of rounds ago, so you can't completely count them out, especially with the aimers on this team. But again, Fnatic are just playing it safe. They spot out firstly towards toilets to see if they can catch out any FaZe members, and after they're gifted no free kills, they back off towards the sites, play this passive style once again, and wait for FaZe to bring the hurt.
Yeah, you can see they're going to be rotating Olof up now. I'm curious to see if he's just going to go straight to A or opt to play Heaven, and it looks like they've made the call to send him over towards A. Now, I don't want to trouble you, but you're going to be up against JW. If you peek around this corner, he actually misses the shot. Very uncharacteristic, and he misses the second. You can't have that many missed shots, as now he just falls on back, doesn't want to risk going for the third. And actually, Nico going to peek out wide. Dennis goes down up on A quickly. It's going to be remedied by Flusher, however, who does equalize it back into a 4-4. The rest of FaZe posted up outside of B. Now going to push on in. The smoke is down, but only nets Crims 1 as Rain quick on the return. And Karrigan just going to be flushing as well to the site. Gets himself a second. Now Kirishima's trapped on the other side of the plywood. Karrigan will go down. But Rain's quick to get that trade. Now it's all on Olof. Clutch King going to try and clutch without switching out of the USP. It's a desperate attempt, but Rain says no. The P250 faring better in the battle of the pistols, but I mean, it's another round. We saw that first one very, very close from Fnatic up against the ecoing FaZe clan. This time, they actually win it out.
How is this happening? FaZe only getting success on their eco rounds. Three PT50s and 2 Deagles, and they win the round. And now Fnatic's money is screwed. The double up was reinvested as well, so now we just have pistols for them. 1 rifle on Flusher, that is going to be it. And while, again, you can't count out the pistols in the current meta, that's just crazy for FaZe clan to be able to do that twice in a row. 2 ecos and a lot of success in both. They've really screwed over the economy. Even though the one they lost a few rounds ago with the Glocks, because they got so many kills, that is limiting Fnatic's buy here. It's coming into effect 3 rounds later. So let's see if these pistols and Fnatic now can have any damage done. Keo's up towards short. The smoke is down, but he's still piling on some hurt with some bullets into the body of Dennis and JW. But FaZe clan not gifted anything just yet. Fnatic just going to re-smoke, plenty of utility to do this as well, so they can just hold on, but they will eventually back off towards more passive positions on the site. Still a lot of long control in the hands of toilets, but FaZe clan haven't really been taking much control over towards the long side of the map, so it's not too much of an issue just yet.
Yeah, change of pace from both teams. Like you said, 2 players for Fnatic now up towards the toilets. That's going to be Dennis and Flusher trying to hold back the tide of FaZe, who this time look to make their way out towards mid. Something we haven't really seen them focus on too much. Dennis going to get spotted out as he takes the aggressive peek. That's a free one for Keo. No trade in sight as Flusher, the only player with a rifle, currently resides over on long. Nico watching for the push up through short down on B as the bomb rotates background. The smoke is going to be there, but he's spotting through the gap. JW looking to try and push on up. Pop flash rains in, and well, Rain does fire off a volley around it. Does give away his position. Nico going to get one, but the trade comes through swiftly from Krim as they find themselves. Olaf and Krim's on the site. 2v4 in this take, and actually, Rain's going to go down. Ollie is as well, and they're making this very costly. They finally deal with Krims, who has 12 HP on the site. He will be falling. Now it's all on Flusher. 1v2, but he's in the backline, making his way up through short. The only problem is that they've got Keo up in heaven. Bombs will be planted for him, but Carrigan will go down, and this is where things get troublesome.
Flusher knows. And look at the drop from Keo right as the nade goes off. I don't think Flusher will have realised he's actually dropped, but spotting him through the smoke, just on the edge. Going to spam away a bit of damage, but Keo asserts towards his position, closer and closer. He doesn't know, though. Flusher's wrapped, and he's going to get the defuse as well. Harry, the pistols, again, they succeed. 4 P250s and a rifle on Flusher, and they manage to pick up the round. A great performance again from Fnatic, but this is just Eco City, left and right. We're seeing Forces have more success than buy rounds. But now Fnatic, FaZe, are going to be back on the rifles here. 1 UMP limited to Rain, and Alu going to be on his own AWP. But Fnatic's buy, despite winning that round, is going to be worse, because obviously they lost 4 players. The UMP for them themselves, Olaf, he can't really get utility unless he goes for a UMP, and he will do indeed. Because FaZe, if anything, have a better buy. At least looking at the rifles.
And look at this.
Maybe a fast B.
All 5 of them just charging on over a stampede. Now they've slowed things down and wait and see if any early aggression comes out. But it's Nico to go aggressively up short. Tries to find one, but actually misses everything. It's Carrigan to entry onto Krims. And now he's looking for more. Gets a second and a third. Give him an inch and he'll take a mile. They're trying to get the bomb down. He's stuck on Keo. But at this point, Shyway earned the nickname The Problem, as Dennis and Flusher, 2v5, just going to fall on back out the site, try to hold on to the AWP rifle and the bounty of utility that they have.
So much damage done onto FaZe as well, which is why it's so unfortunate for Fnatic. If a few more shots landed, they could have really taken maybe a 3-on-2 quite early on and grabbed themselves another potential round, but it's back and forth here. It's weirdly enough, while the scoreline is favourable to Fnatic quite heavily, I still feel like this game is so much closer just due to the damage that FaZe have been doing. Even in the rounds that they've been losing, they've been taking so many players down with them that Fnatic are really struggling to put together a lot of their buys, and this will continue as we go into this one as well. Not going to have a lot of cash over on this CT side. And if Dennis goes down here to the push up through long, this could be far, far worse. You can see Rain's already got a UMP, so why the hell not chase? As he runs round the corner, going to jump over the top here, but he's not going to commit to the fight. Dennis holds onto his gun. Fnatic now look at the money. It's just so much economical damage. They can't really commit to a buy. I mean, they can force because they'll be double eco regardless of what happens. But still, it's not looking good.
Yeah, I mean, in this scenario, we've seen Dennis and Flusher play A almost every single time. Now they're going to go for the force. I imagine we're going to see those positions not change, in spite of having the catalyst. But instead, oh yeah, there we go. Okay, they still stay up on A. The reason being, if they lose B, they can just save these, and then the buy in the next round will be all good. If not, then they can hopefully rotate around quickly, and they're actually going to go aggressive, and it's going to yield them 1 frag early on. Keo will go down. The man fight is grabbed for Fnatic, as now they fall on back out of mid phase. Just quickly reroute that bomb round over towards B. With only Olaf actually on the site, the other 2 players pushed up short. They're allowed to sneak on out, up through Monster now, grabbing control of pit and just walking onto the site. No opposition here to hold them back as they just prepare for the retake. And actually, Krims will go down. Now they're pushing to the site, going to be coming underway. Nico will fall, however, in retort. The man invites return back in favor of Fnatic. JW on the flank gets one more, but Alu quicker on the trigger with the AWP. Pivots round, finds himself 1v3. A lot on his plate, gets one more. A parting gift onto Olaf, but Flusher, the crossfire set up, the trade comes through, and now Fnatic find themselves with an 8.
Neither team being able to build up the economy. That's the main issue we're seeing here. Both teams just on the edge of eco. If either team lose this next round, they're going to be eco. So that is a real issue right now. Again, it's unfortunate, but it's the way this game's been going with the amount of force buys. The double AWP is back in on for Fnatic, and FaZe still have theirs on Alu. The money's so low. That being said, fast up towards middle for Fnatic. They look for the pick. Nothing is granted, so they back off towards the site as they have been doing. This has been the typical CT side setup. They look for the pick and then they drop back. And I like that as well, because so many teams still stay committed towards long and toilets. And as a result, they lose out a lot of CT rounds because it allows the Ts to easily pick them up. And usually if you have one, position towards the short toilets and one towards long. It grants a pick without a trade, which can be dangerous, but at least they're playing this buddy system here. They're doubling up, which means it's not only harder for FaZe to get that opening kill, but also easier for Fnatic to trade it if that does come down. But we have a triple stack now over on A, and that will allow a little more aggression as trades will be easier. But look at the boost from Rain. Great stuff there. Quick kill onto Olaf. Flusher will retrieve one, though.
Now with Nico watching B, it looks like that bomb might look to now rotate down over towards Connector. You can see the players from Long falling back, and it looks like they're just going to rendezvous over in Connector for the time being. I mean, you've got Crims and JW still under 1B, but actually they'll rotate Crims up to A. JW taking a very passive position, looking like they might just play for the retake, or instead push on up to Heaven. Crims looking a little bit hesitant now because they haven't heard anything in a while, and it would have been the right call to make, because it looks like FaZe a little bit curious as to what is in store on this A site now. Pushing on up, the Molotov going to force Ali to take a bit of an aggressive angle as he peeks out round the corner. Flusher watching passively from back, has the crossfire set up with Dennis for that molly. Things are about to get hot and heavy for him, and actually forces him back. Ali going to be taking the peek, but Flusher denies it. The frag's going back and forth, but ultimately it's Keo 1v3. Down he goes. They get very little in return on that push into the site. So little time left as well. Fnatic just doing a great job of forcing their hand into some very unfavorable pushes. Ultimately net Fnatic that night.
FaZe really having a struggle here again. Despite the economical damage they've done, they can't convert these rounds into success. It's just a P250 is pulled out now for the T's. Glocks across the rest of the team, and without those, very, very consistent deagles that we need to see on this T side to get those opening kills that they have been doing on these eco rounds, it's going to be far, far more difficult. I don't expect an eco win here this time from FaZe. If they can maybe utilize that P250, grab a close kill, that could be good, but Fnatic now switching up their positions as we have Flusher aggressive on long and Dennis solo towards the site. The orb's going to be perfect at range though. They all charge on in. There's the first kill, looking for the lineup, and he gets it. Alu and Rain drop to the floor, and Dennis, he's gone for a fourth, looking for the ace, but it's Nico to be found by Flusher. And while he doesn't manage to secure that 5 hat-trick, it will be Fnatic to pick up the 10th round.
Yeah, 10-3 right now. Double up setup still in play for the CT side and FaZe. Well, they've got enough money to buy. It's just going to be rifles across the board. And with $100 in their pocket collectively, nothing but a little bit of change rattling around in amongst their very limited utility buy. I mean, pretty much everything they'll need, but not an ideal amount. And actually, it looks like they might just try a B play out of desperation. All 5 players here early on. They're going to be boosting up JW, who's looking to take a peek. Early on downward short, it's going to be first man around the corner. Down he goes. Carrigan does find one of the Crims, and they lose control of Monster as a result. You can see FaZe just flood onto the site entirely for free. That Molly's going to force back JW as well, but Olaf does find one on his way into the site as he positions himself for the retake. Flusher coming in from behind. The crossfire setting up nicely between the players on short. One's on Graffiti. They might employ the boost, but instead just a barrage of flashes rains in, and that means that Rain and Carrigan both go down, biting the dust. It's all on Alu, 1v4, and he can't make it work. Fnatic, they find themselves an 11th. FaZe struggling on their T side. I need to look at the scoreboard. What is Olaf doing right now? He is on fire. Not as much as I feel. Okay, maybe not, but he's just getting 3K after 3K, 12 and 9. I mean, Flusher and Dennis both stomping as well, 17 and 3 and 5 respectively. But right now, this is just falling apart for FaZe. Fnatic, the resurgence, they are reborn, it seems. And obviously, we are only in the first half of 4, but this is looking good so far. They can just close out this final one. They're going to have a great buffer to play with into the second half, even if they do lose that pistol round, and that is even looking unlikely as we get into this one. Final buy for FaZe as they fast play up towards short. It's JW up close, takes the first kill. Flusher as well. It's just aim battles now. Welcome to aimbots as Dennis. He'll drop another. Not a single trade has been found by FaZe so far. Only 2 remaining. And really no damage done onto the side of Fnatic as well, so nothing to exploit here for the T side. Yeah, Nico and Carrigan 2v5, and Carrigan's been making his way out through Monster. Does net that first frag on a Crims, who keeps losing control of Monster, but they're finding it hard to exploit because the rest of the B-hold is so incredible, and now Nico pushing up through short, through the smoke, just rubbing arms with JW, who's currently sitting in the smoke, looking to try and push out to deny the plant. They don't see it coming. Down he goes, and oh, JW, okay then! Gets himself both, and that's 3 frags for him. What an incredible first half, and I'm sure there's going to be more action in the second. We'll be back after a very quick break.
Fnatic are back, and they are bringing the pain here over on Overpass. It's 12-3 in the first half. That is just disgusting.
Yeah, I mean, this is so good for Fnatic, right? It means that they're effectively a pistol win away from potentially taking this to map point. Yeah, I mean, 12-3, they pick up the pistol, they convert the next 2 rounds, something that we did see them have a bit of trouble doing, or at least coming down to the wire. But still, I mean, if they get the pistol, the chances are we could see them at map point very, very quickly. FaZe need to pick it up. There's so much riding on the back of this 1 round alone, almost. Yeah, I mean, the pressure's just insurmountable at this point.
It's crazy, and the fact is that FaZe have seemingly been having almost as much success on their, eco buys than they have on their buys.
I mean, if not more.
Yeah,
right?
if not more, because they've only got 3 rounds, right? And I think one of those was an eco win, and one of a full Glock round they took to a 1v1 and only just lost out by a few seconds of time. So really, what is going on for FaZe here? Why are they falling apart?
I mean, but I think, so what we're seeing, right, is a very, very confident Fnatic for a start, and they're a team that you cannot let get confident. I mean, early on, right, with the JW thing where he just kind of pushed through with the UMP, took the duels regardless, just, he was very confident then. Yeah. And they came into it with a lot of confidence. Now, sometimes we see Fnatic kind of taken to their knees as a result of that, because they come in very confident. If they lose a couple of rounds, and they do seem to kind of, tilt a little bit, fairly easily. You come in thinking it's going to be an easy win, and then you get put, on the back foot, they do struggle. But if they come into it, already feeling cocky, already feeling good, and then they dominate from the outset, then that's just a terrifying prospect. As well as that, some amazing performances across the board. I especially liked early on, we saw a lot of promise. We saw the push towards the A site. Olaf, Flusher, and Dennis lock it down completely. They boost up Dennis during the site take, allowing him to net a couple of frags from the flanking players on long. Just so much to speak about. So little time, though, as we head into the pistol round of the second half.
Yeah, full armor for Fnatic. The confidence is well and truly in play, as we can see the charge up towards short here. Support from Flusher as they come out through the connector as well. And while FaZe will get aggressive, that actually relinquishes a bit of control towards the B site. And you can see Crims trying to exploit it. As you can see the long push coming out from Nico. Nothing will be found though. There's still the triple play over towards B, which makes it very difficult. And actually the quad play now, as Karrigan's rotated on down. And Fnatic, I think they've realised this. They're going to be shooting their way back up towards this A site. And we'll start to see the rotation come in from Karrigan. There's only a solo player, just Alu to defend. And Flusher, he dives into the B site with Crims. A good combination there. They can wrap him from the back as well as the bomb goes down. FaZe Clan are pinched like a sandwich.
Yeah, sandwiches run out for being pinched anyway. Dennis up towards back, looking to try and dispatch Ivalu, who is putting up a bit of a fight, but he's quickly going to be surrounded, and that's Crims to deal with Dennis. Thank you. He was becoming too much of a problem on this server. It is going to be a 2-on-3, Rain and Nico. The 2 players you would want in this retake to try and secure this A site, and Nico's behind them. Flusher's on the stairs and he has no idea. Nico's going to sneak on by. Flusher will fall at the hands of Rain anyway, so he just watches his teammates expert marksmanship dispatch of these players. Down goes Crims. And now it's all on JW, does get one. Nico in the backline could connect the shots when it mattered the most. It's a 1v1, but time is going to be of the essence. Does pick up the kit. He can't connect them. Nico, you're meant to be one of the best players in the world. What's going on?
There we go.
Finally gets it, but the bomb's going to go off. Fnatic, they pick up the pistol round. And already, this is FaZe Clan down and out for the count in this.
You've got to admit it, right? There's surely no way they can pull this one back after such a star pistol round. I like that from Fnatic. They go for the fast A play, they split in towards B, and I know you took the mick out of my sentence structure, but they were pinched in between two teams of players.
Like
Fnatic,
a filling in a sandwich.
There we go. Right, the wording's better when you're not rushing it, but yeah, really, really crushed in between. And Nico going for the deagle, the rest of FaZe on the full eco here as USPs will be donned. Fnatic, even playing this one fairly safe with a couple of rifles, not going for any kind of mean buys, no full Mac 10 buys. They just want to, secure the map. They don't want to throw this one away, and they are very, very close to doing so. Money is not going to be too much of an issue for them for the time being, though. So we can imagine just a couple of UMP rounds here, to be honest, and just a bit of a shutdown onto FaZe as this full eco. I can only expect a buy up next round. That's why FaZe are doing this, but even so, that would be a very weak buy.
Yeah, the best they can hope for is somehow find some damage, use Nico's deagle to their advantage, tag them low, and then hope the USPs can pick up the rest. You can already see they've loaded all the eggs in one basket, just putting everyone over towards B. Now Rain can quickly rotate. As that flash Rain's through though, I think he's now going to opt just to stay on the B site anyway. And as a result, this A site's just completely open. Fnatic, as you said, playing this very passively, taking it slow, clearing every angle, and Nico looking to try and peek out from short. Down goes the deagle. Rain trying to pick it up, does manage to secure it. So it's going to be juggled around, similar to what we see with these Catalyst Orbs, but instead it's the deagle. In the hands of Rain and Nico, though, you could expect to see it utilized as such. And Well, they're just going to rotate up quickly towards A. 4 players for FaZe down on that B site now, looking to quickly try and catch them as they make their way in towards the A site. But the rotate, I don't think it's going to be coming in fast enough. Rain going to be the player to try and open it up with the D, makes his way upstairs. And Fnatic, they've slowed down substantially to throw this utility in, allowing plenty of time for FaZe to get onto the site. The smoke screen as well, the wall of smoke is going to allow FaZe to push up close. They leave a couple of chance gaps here and there, and JW and Olaf, they mop up Rain and Karrigan between them. Arlu and Keo going to find themselves 2v5. A lot of work to do, nothing to do it with. And Arlu going to be the last hope on long. Might be able to catch Flusher with his knife out, but not even then.
Bye-bye. 14-3. Now I'm expecting to see a buy from FaZe just simply because they fully ecoed in the second round of the half. And yeah, they will be doing so. So they actually get a fair bit behind them in terms of weaponry, but the utility is going to be limited on people that buy up rifles, for example, Rain. And Nico investing in that deal is going to mean that he's now limited to a scout. Can get a flashbang behind it, but really not a lot of utility. At least they have a double kit, which is something very, very important. But really, Fnatic are just taking these aim battles. So stuff like UMPs aren't going to be as good here for FaZe, considering we do have a lot of rifles on the side of Fnatic. But let's have a look, see if FaZe can bring anything different to the table, see if they can catch off guard Fnatic with this buy. I think Fnatic know what's up. At the end of the day, they did see the full USPs coming in, so probably expecting some kind of force here, and the utility already being dispersed from FaZe is going to make it obvious. But Arlu up close in the connector does take down JW. He gets tagged down very, very heavily and does have players flanking from his rear up towards the A site, but at least he's taken the first kill.
And now he is going to be stuck in the middle, not with you, but with Crims, as now he rounds the corner. Arlu on a 50. Oh, Crims. No, there is a player there. Does turn around and picks that up. Now it's a 4-on-4. As the equalizer does come through. Better late than never. Down in connector. Control of that going to go the way of Fnatic. And they're just going to utilize that. Playing things very slowly. They know that there's a buy from FaZe. They're looking to be very cautious. Nico and Rain on this A site, both in positions that could be dealt with fairly easily. I mean, Rain, if he gets isolated, if Nico falls, Rain's going to be there alone. Has to try and trade this back. And his players who can deal with him from a lot of different angles. The push now coming in from long as Olaf wraps around. Crim's making his way out in mid as well. These guys in danger of just being collapsed on by the full Fnatic roster as they line on up outside this A site. Rain's got to do God's work from this position.
It's all on timing. He's going to hear the smokes go down, so he knows they're close. But charging on in is Flusher. Rain takes that first. Expects a second as well. We'll hear the footsteps of Crims, but he's got one more to go, as Dennis is now the last man standing for the side of Fnatic. He's spotted. Rain's playing with his food. He doesn't want to commit to the fight in case he goes down, but Nico from a range will get it done. It's 4 rounds to FaZe. They keep it alive. But for how long is the question? Fnatic can still invest. They can still get those full rifles in play. Dennis may be on a UMP if he wants a bit more utility, but no, he's just going to go straight for the rifle. They just want to take the aim battles now, as FaZe are still left on a couple of SMGs, or at least one. The scout thrown away to retrieve an M4 instead, and actually a good buy behind FaZe, as well as a kit still in play here for the CT side. So Fnatic still looking good on their buy, but it will be their last if FaZe can pick up 2 rounds in a row.
All ready for Fnatic though. 2 players aggressively down through connector. You've also got Flusher watching the push in B. They pushed a couple of players out through mid, but FaZe, interestingly enough, have opted to go aggressive a little bit here. You can see that Arlu and Rain trying to lock down mid aren't going to be peeking on out. Instead, you've got Arlu watching the push up through long from toilets, but from here he can be pop flashed out from Rain. It's a good position to trade though, however, and as Arlu peeks on out, does dispatch a Crims. Now has a free getaway over towards long, but he's got to check the angle, and that slowing down could have him dealt with, but no, instead he will be able to escape for the time being. Just trying to get down long, but Olaf going to be quicker on the corner. He's fully aware of this pop flash going to come through, but Olaf running and blind finds the frag anyway. That's game sense, and Nico, meanwhile, over towards mid, does capitalize on that frag, and JW going to be able to avenge his fallen teammate over towards long as well, as Olaf down like a sack of spuds, and now it's all on Dennis and Flusher. 2v4.
Oh, good timing on the peak though. Dennis holding the angle, and Rain will walk right into it. But he doesn't realise Kiyoshima has regathered his position. He's no way going to expect this player behind him. Nico spamming away. Kiyo's going to come from behind as well, but Flusher, he flicks back on. Dennis as well follows up. Fnatic have pulled this back from the dirt, and now it's all onto Karrigan. A 2v4 looking like it may and well truly come into play. Unless Karrigan can pull out something phenomenal. He has a UMP. Great for the close range, but these post plants are going to favour Fnatic so heavily they can either double peek or just bait this one out. And at a range, Karrigan needs to grab himself a rifle. There are plenty dropped on the floor as well as kits, but it's still such a difficult situation to be in. An M4 will be picked up. And the bomb's actually not going to be for Dennis, but Flusher can peek out on that. Flash comes out, actually a deep nade, and Karrigan looking for it, continually tapping the bomb. He gets the kill onto Flusher, could actually stick this one. Dennis is close, he doesn't realise the angle though, turns back on, and Dennis is there. It's Fnatic to be ready, and for them to get their 15th round on the board as well, as FaZe are now left, well, with no real money. They can force things up, and they have to, obviously, but this isn't a great buy behind the guys over on the CT side at all, whereas Fnatic, they really are in the driving seat.
Yeah, scraping the bottom of the barrel to try and pick up whatever they can. M4 on Karrigan, UMP for Ali, very little utility across the board, but a couple of smokes to hold back the initial fast play from Fnatic. Aggression down long, though, going to be the order of the day. Is also Nico peeking out from mid with his high-powered hand cannon, will be just dispatched courtesy of Dennis. As the early man advantage is going to be taken here by Fnatic, who are quick to try and capitalize on this lackluster buy, but then Karrigan with the M4, the one player they didn't account for, going to be able to deal with Dennis. Down he goes. Olaf here to try and trade things out. Actually going to fall at the hands of Ali. They're making this costly. Bombs just down on the corner as well. That's why they're making their way back up here, taking these engagements. It might seem unnecessary, but they've got to go ahead and pick that up. Ali's now got an AK to play around with. And I think he's going to relinquish control of mid. They've been able to take the man advantage. They've grabbed some weaponry. And Ali, well, he doesn't want to risk overstaying his welcome. Will be falling on back.
That's the thing, they had to get the bomb back, because if they continue to contest, Fnatic are likely going to grab back these kills. You can see Crims with the knowledge that two players are towards the A side deep. He's trying to find himself a quick pick onto B to equalise the situation. And with Alu and Karrigan so low, this is still doable here for Fnatic. These UMPs are going to be reckless. But a close position found by Rain, that's easy going to be good there. Crims just going to back off of that position instead. Has a smoke and a few bits of flashes and Molotov as well to fake out on towards B. But the bomb is going to be finally joining him here. Flusher coming in down through middle with the support of JW, so they have good positions to commit to this B site. The issue is obviously there are still two players in the wings. Smoke goes down. Flusher's going to start to push on in. And Kiyoshima just sitting towards the barrels, Deagle in hand. Rain as well, playing a bit of a one and done spot. This could be dangerous, but he may be able to grab a quick kill. And he does. Flusher falls, going for more, but Kyo says no, as JW is going to go down as well. Crims is now the last man standing, and with no time left, it's FaZe Clan to pick up the round.
A great crossfire there from the players on B to ultimately hold back the Swedes on their push. That's going to be them to arrive at 5, but they've still got a long way to go. If they want to make this comeback possible and arrive at overtime, they have to take 10 rounds consecutively without allowing Fnatic to pick up one. It would be a feat in and of itself. But it is still possible, especially from the likes of FaZe.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we came into this saying FaZe are going to be the team to likely win this one, maybe even 2-0. So, fact of the matter is, you can't deny the skill over on the side of FaZe. While Fnatic are doing very, very well so far, there's still possibility, although that is very, very low, given that FaZe only need to make up one mistake. Fnatic only need to get one spray down or, get the trades in their favour one time, and it could just all fall apart. That's the issue with not having the buffer of the 14th round. When you're playing up against map point, it's horrible. It's horrible to play up against map point. And while FaZe are getting all this money, all these free kills, soon Fnatic will be back in with rifles and back in for a vengeance.
Oh, and Olaf, he's, like you say, not ready free kills just yet, as he does make it a little bit costly over towards middle with that P250, and then gets caught out over on long, courtesy of Nico, avenging Rain in mid, his fallen brethren. Early 15-6, FaZe, they pick up that anti-eco, but this is where Fnatic are going to be faced with a choice. Do they just try and force buy down to $2,000? That is what they're going to do. I imagine we're going to be seeing JW maybe stave off so he can buy up the AWP. No, actually, he's going to invest fairly heavy in comparison to the rest of his teammates. Flusher investing the most will have utility to play with into this round. 2 flashes, a Molotov, and a smoke, and they're just going to be charging up towards this B site. Now with this, they have a smoke to try and either smoke off heaven or potentially the cross. Then they've got a Molotov to deal with the player on barrels, but it doesn't matter because Karrigan, speaking of barrels, barreling through. JW's fully flashed and finally finds that frag. The man advantage is taken, and now the players capitalizing on this early aggression, making their way up short, but Keo on barrels, they don't expect the 3 players down on B. And look at this play from Alu. He's gone aggressive. He's all the way up through Park in their backline. He knows that they're over towards B. He's got so much information on the back of this play that we can probably see Rain rotate off of that A site anytime soon. The issue is they don't have control of connector, but he's going to be the one to shut this down if they rotate back up through T-ramp. He is the linchpin in this round.
It looks like Fnatic want to commit some kind of fake here. A couple of players with utility still, overstaying their welcome down towards B, whereas just holding the back lines is going to be the bomb player as well with support from Olofmeister, but nothing will be found. It seems that they will commit back down towards B. Kyo being flashed up by his teammate, trying to look for another pick there, trying to get some information to play with here, but Fnatic aren't biting. They're finally going to group up down towards long, and while Kyo only has 1 magazine, that's going to be enough to deal with this push coming on in. There's the first flusher. It's going to be taken down. Dennis is spotted as well. Now he knows JW's in position, but Nico will be able to support as Kyo picks up a double. Deagle out in his hand, and Olaf has been spotted. It's just the pre-fire that will take him down. FaZe, bit by bit, going to whittle down at Fnatic. back to 7 rounds, but still, this is the first buy in 2
Yeah.
for Fnatic, so this is going to be their chance just to close it out before FaZe can build up in a bank over on the CT side.
Yeah, I mean, you know, FaZe might have taken 2 consecutively. This is where they're going to be tested. If they can just win this out fairly cleanly, even against Rifles, that's where they're going to find themselves in a great place to get ahead. Are they going to have the AWP? No AWP for Fnatic to play around with. Instead, plenty of utility and Rifles across the board. Aggression early on out towards mid and connector, leaving Flusher to watch the push in from B, but no one to watch short for the time being, as it looks like FaZe is going to be taking control of there early on. They don't have anyone watching connector just yet, at least from this A side or playing down in there, and as a result, Fnatic do just take full advantage of that now, pushing on up over towards mid, and with how they're set up, they could very easily collapse out, potentially find Rain, but he's been doing such a good job in this position of just locking down the push into A, and they're just going to slow things down as a result.
Taking their time. FaZe will smoke them off just to delay them a little bit longer. In the meantime, Nico will be rotating back in towards A as well, so give them a little more chance, or at least he's up in towards the heaven there, so a quick rotation down towards A if need be. JW just boosting for some information, but there's nothing there for FaZe. Nothing will be gained over the top of the smoke. Now as that starts to dissipate, they actually re-smoke it, so just holding Fnatic back for so long here, but again, it will come down to about 30 seconds, and they're going to have to hurry up and commit. As you can see, the bomb's going to make its way back in towards the spawn, likely going to be hitting in towards B here, with a position of Flusher as well. The issue is, with the constant reusal of smokes from FaZe, not only is the time low for Fnatic, but they've not found themselves any information just yet. There's so many nades being used by FaZe, it's just completely denying anything Fnatic want to achieve. And that's one of the issues, because they're down a man, they've got no information, they don't know the stacks from FaZe, and they've got to charge into a site with 20 seconds remaining. Karrigan's on the other side of the smoke. This is going to be perfect. One goes in for a little bit more, runs out of ammo. CZ eventually going to pull it out of his pocket. Will be too late. Dennis takes the first couple of kills into the site, but it's going to be Nico to clean it up. And FaZe, 8 rounds to 15. Another rifle round retrieved. This time they keep 3 players alive, so it's actually, you know, not that costly here for the FaZe side. And it forces Fnatic into another eco down again as we reach the 4th out of 5th build up of the loss bonus. So a bit of a quasi coming into this one. They're going to have maxed out after this, and they'll be up to about 5k each respectively after this round if they do lose it. But FaZe starting to bring their way back into this matchup. It's just how long will it take for them to crack the nut that is Fnatic.
Already going to be going aggressively through connector, but Rain is posted up, and they both roast in the fire and flames. He's looking for even more. He's not done yet. Going to get 3 finally dealt with. As it is now a 2-on-3, they also find Arlo over in mid, who doesn't get anything done. Now Flush has got an AWP to play around with. Crims has an M4. A deadly combination for the Swedes, but the swift rotate coming in from Nico and Keo forces them back from A. Crims has got the bomb, and it's already looping down through A ramp. And I mean, when you look at it, Karrigan's actually gone aggressive. He's holding the cross from both long and also watching the play out from connector. From his position down in water. Now Flusher is watching A from long himself with the AWP in hand, but they're not going to go peeking. They've got the man advantage. There's no need for FaZe to overextend here, try and take any peeks they don't need to and give any sort of advantage away, because Fnatic are a team that you cannot give that foot in the door to.
And what Flush is trying to do now is essentially bait out a rotation from FaZe, an aggressive one, because you can see the position at Crims is positioned back towards T-spawn. Flush is throwing these nades, is hoping that FaZe will push up on B in this 3v2 and try and wrap in through T-spawn where Crims will be able to strike. It's a nice setup, but FaZe aren't biting. With the current setup, you can see, obviously, as you say, with Karrigan towards B short, it's going to mean that they can just position himself perfectly, because Karrigan's already as aggressive as he needs to be. And now Fnatic, with 30 seconds left, need to commit towards the site. Flush has already wasted all his utility, so it's a very difficult take, but they do have a smoke for either bank or for the plant if they needed. Flusher pushing on in with the AWP. Should be able to spot out this first player if Nico just jiggles a little bit to his left there, but Flusher, it's all a game of timing, and Nico will get the better one as he takes the first kill. Crims trades, but Keo's right there. So the AWP is still saved here for FaZe. And Fnatic, I like the attempt at least in the 2v3. It's very difficult to get back into rounds like that, but even so, FaZe are going to make it work. 9 rounds in. Harry, honestly, do you think this could be a comeback?
I mean, you can never count out FaZe, right?
Yeah.
You can never count them out, and here we go.
That's not an answer, Harry. That's not an answer. Stop trying to dodge it.
What do you mean? I'm just saying, yeah, this could be a comeback.
Okay.
It's a vague question anyway. But yeah, 15-9. Karrigan actually going to go aggressive towards mid. Bit of a change of pace, as you can see the push coming in down long as well. Rain and Ali both there. Crims, meanwhile, trying to secure control of the connector with the rest of Fnatic in tow. But this change of pace, looking to catch them off guard. Karrigan pop flashing down. Oh, will be dropped by Crims, but finds that hearty amount of damage. And now Ali trying to rotate up through long, could get caught off guard as he peeks on in. does slow down. Are they going to be ready for this? No, they're not. Crims will falter. Down he falls. Nico already on the site, rotating up from B as they hear this push coming underway. The bomb's rotated back around over towards B, though, so at this point it is a fake. Dennis is here alone, and there's 3 players dedicated to the hold, almost over towards A. Rain actually now rotating back down in through A ramp, trying to come around on the lurk, and of course this could do some serious damage. The pop flash going to come out from Keo on Barrels. Dennis rotating around, will be heard by Ali, and that's going to net him a frag. They've got to worry about Barrels. Molotov going to force Kiyoshima out. He just stands in the Molotov as things get a little bit hot and spicy down on B, and he will fall. 2v3. Bomb's going to go down, but they still haven't... They're still not ready for Rain on the flank. He finds one. Flusher going to be guillotined. It's all on Olaf, who does get one in return, but now it's a 1v2. Peeking out wide. Nico finishes him off. Easy done, and that is FaZe to arrive at double digits, 10-15.
This is getting scary. I thought this was going to be a done deal, but FaZe seems to have brought it back. Just to check on the scoreboard to see how many they had when Fnatic first hit 15. It'd be interesting to see if we can get up the scoreboard for that. Or maybe later. But
we're going to keep you in suspense for that one.
It's just on the edge of our seat, you know. But Flusher, there we go.
Oh,
okay. So that's 6. So it was, okay, this is a long comeback so far, but they've got 5 more to go right now. Coming back from 15 to 4, bringing it all the way here. This is looking scary for Fnatic, because while, again, FaZe still aren't in this game, they still haven't won it or even brought it to OT, they are doing it bit by bit, but maybe things are going to change as Crims, he opens it up onto Nico, the jumping player, not even boosting there, but Crims has the quick reaction to take him down. It's a 5-on-4. Fnatic, good positioning as well so far. They do have the control down towards passive connector, waiting for FaZe to get aggressive here to try and refrag things, because that's commonly done. If you lose out on the first pick of the CT side, it's very common that the CTs will start to push up, try and grab themselves a kill, maybe play that buddy system so they can trade effectively, and then drop back down towards the site to at least get themselves back into a 4-on-4, which while does still favour the Ts, is far easier for the CT side. But Alu, look at his position here, perfect.
Oh, he's just going to scope the timing. Oh, there you go. Now mind Dennis going to hand it over to him free of charge, but then there's JW there to refrag. Back in with 3-on-4. And at this point, because that bomb's still over towards B, because you've got Crims up towards short, and Olaf, still on T-ramp, he can very easily rotate. JW can just sell this as a fake. Wouldn't surprise me if in an act of desperation we see one of these players rotate off of B. All it would take is JW to make a little bit of noise, but they might just opt to play it safe, send everyone in towards this B site, or leave JW on the lurk to see if anyone tries to rotate down through connector. With 30 seconds left, B is going to be the order of the day. Smokes and flashes rain on through. The Molotov to force the player out from behind Barrels. This time Kia, they're going to be residing over towards Pit. The rotate already well and truly underway. All 4 players here for Fnatic as they collapse into the site. JW and Flusher, they find 2 between them. It's all on Rain, 1v3, and currently they've traveled a long road. It is even longer, and they're not done just yet. Rain going to be able to find 1. Still a JW and Crims left to worry about here as he pushes on up. But it is going to be a fairly difficult clutch. Both players just waiting over towards short. He's pushing on round. Time's going to be of the essence. Doesn't have a kit to play around with just yet. Peek comes out from JW and down he goes.
See, that's the confidence we talk about of Fnatic, right? With that situation, you don't peek. You just hold on. You have the 2 players over towards short. You don't need to peek the site, but JW, he knows that no one's going to expect that. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make any sense, but he goes for it anyway, and it works out perfectly. So that's a kind of aggressive play that we see from Fnatic. They actually close out the map as well, just to mention. I cut you off, but
yeah,
16.
I was about to say it,
yeah, no, it doesn't matter. Everyone knows. Everyone can count. 16-10 now. Wow, what a weird game. They stop the first half, they bring it to 15-4. Here are the replays for you guys as well. And FaZe, they start a long road back. They do bring it back very well to double digits, as you say, but they're not going to be able to close it out.
Yeah, I mean, Fnatic, as you were saying, a team that's very much based on their confidence and how they're feeling. We see that once things start to slip through their fingers a little bit, it did look to be a lot more vulnerable. And I think a lot of this is just going to come back to the fact that FaZe giving them so much freedom in that first half does ultimately come back to punish them, because let's face it, they take what, it was 7 rounds consecutively, and I mean that's an amazing feat in and of itself. If they'd kind of had that sort of resurgence just a little bit earlier on, if they'd just been able to reset themselves and come back with that in the first half, then it could have been a completely different story. But yeah, I mean, do you have any bits that were particularly your favourite? Anything you want to mention?
You're saying that because you do, Harry. I can see you grinning with your notes.
Yeah, well, what can I say?
Let's go over them, Harry. Let's pick your brain. What do you want?
Yeah, well, so one of the things that I know that you love, round 23, the utility usage from FaZe was pivotal to their success. And I mean, it was textbook. If you're kind of like a new player and you want to see how to properly use utility, that's it. That's the clip I would recommend watching. I mean, they keep Fnatic at the site long enough, so there was about 24 seconds left when they tried pushing in towards B. They have no information. They've already lost 2 players because of a very aggressive peek from, well, not even very aggressive, just the peek up through the smoke from Arlu towards A. And then it was actually a nade that kills the next player down on B. They keep them at the site for so long, they're pushing through Molotov, smokes, everything. And ultimately, it's a 3v5, 24 seconds left by the time they even arrive down at that B site.
Yeah, that's so great. I mean, it's not very common you see that on Overpass as well. A map which I think you could compare, at least in being able to hold off the T's for so long, is something like the old Inferno when you could recycle smokes. You know, before you could rebuy smokes. You could just cycle smokes down towards that B site, stop a push, and just completely delay it until 10-15 seconds was left. But, I mean, FaZe did that on Overpass, a map that you don't see that very often, with only a triple B, not even a quad B stack or something, and just Fnatic not able to find that pick. They were just forced down to the last few seconds of the map, and that was really, really good from FaZe. I like to see stuff like that, at least being able to hold a Fnatic for so long. So yeah, a really good win from Fnatic there as well. We kind of were a bit worried coming into this matchup that they wouldn't be able to close it out. The issue is obviously we're going into train.
I'm really excited
I can't wait,
to see how this pans out.
A map that Fnatic had a bit of a struggle on yesterday against G2. They lost 16-5, a bit of an upset there. But I mean, it's not done. We do have a chance for FaZe to equal things up, to bring things back in their favour. But will that happen? You can find out just after a few minutes. We're going to go for a short break, and we'll bring it back to you in just a sec.
ESL Pro League is brought to you in part by Logitech G, Pay Safeguard, Mountain Dew League, and ESEA.